My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful qualities a believer can carry in their heart is a positive attitude. Not just a worldly optimism, but a deep, faith-driven positivity rooted in trust in Allah. Arabic Sin, Arabic Ba, Arabic Het, Arabic Noon, Arabica, Arabic Noon, Arabica, Arabic Lam, 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 Arabic Life, Maksura. You see, in Islam, positivity is not dependent on your bank balance, your success or your circumstances. It is connected to your heart and your connection with your Creator. A true believer understands something very powerful. Whatever Allah has chosen for me is better for me. Even when life doesn't go your way, even when doors close, even when people disappoint you, you don't collapse. Why? Because your hope is not in people. Your hope is in Allah. My brothers and sisters, a positive attitude begins with tawakkul, placing your full trust in Allah. When you truly trust Him, you stop overthinking every outcome. You do your best and you leave the rest to Him. And along with trust comes gratitude. If you constantly focus on what you don't have, you will always feel empty. But when you start counting your blessings, your Iman, your ability to breathe, you realize that Allah has already given you more than you deserve. Allah says if you are grateful, He will give you more. So positivity is not just a mindset, it's Arabiktot, Arabikrat, 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 Arabikrat. Now let's talk about hardships. We all go through them. Tests, pain, losses. But the believer sees them differently. Instead of saying, why me? They say, what is Allah teaching me? Every hardship carries hidden mercy. Sometimes Allah delays something because it's not good for you. Sometimes He takes something away to give you something better. So don't let negativity take over your heart. Remember, this dunya is temporary. What matters is how you respond. My dear brothers and sisters, your words also matter. The way you speak reflects what's inside you. If your tongue is filled with complaints, negativity grows. But if your tongue is filled with dhikr, hope and good words, bring Arabic Noon, Arabic Wa, Arabic Ra, light into your life. Train yourself to say Alhamdulillah in every situation. Because even in difficulty, there is Arabic Chet, Arabic Het, Arabic Ra you may not yet see. And then comes Sabr, patience. Patience is not just waiting. It is remaining strong, hopeful and calm while you wait. A positive Muslim is not someone who never faces problems. A positive Muslim is someone who faces problems with faith, patience and dignity. Finally, remember this, optimism in Islam is Arabic Teen, Arabic Pa, Arabic Tal, Arabic Tal, Arabic Tal. When you expect Arabic Alif, Arabic Tal, Arabic Lam, Arabic Tat, Arabic Klaf from Allah, you are showing good opinion of Iman that itself is rewarded. So never lose hope. Never let darkness enter your heart. Because as long as you are connected to Allah, there is always light ahead. May Allah fill our hearts with positivity, patience and trust. May He make us among those who see Arabic Alif, Arabic Leaf, Arabic Leaf, Arabic line, Arabic line in every situation.
Ameen.
A positive attitude in Islam truly begins with tawakkul, a deep and sincere trust in Allah. Arabic Sin, Arabic Ba, Arabic Het, Arabic Het, Arabic Alif, Arabic Noon, Arabica, Arabica, Arabican, Arabic Alif, Arabic Lem, Arabic Alif, Arabic Alif, Maksura. It is not just a word we say, but a state of the heart that reflects how firmly we believe that Allah is in control of every single aspect of our lives. When a person has true tawakkul, they understand that nothing happens without the permission of Allah. And whatever He allows is ultimately Arabic Chet, Arabic Yet, Arabic Ra, even if we do not immediately understand it. Many people claim to trust Allah, but when things don't go their way, anxiety, frustration and negativity quickly take over. This shows that tawakkul is not yet deeply rooted in the heart. True trust in Allah means that after you have made your effort, you leave the outcome completely in His hands without constant worry. You plan, you strive, you make dua, but then you accept that the result will come exactly as Allah has decreed. And when you reach that level, your heart finds a sense of peace that no worldly solution can provide. A believer with tawakkul does not panic over the future. They do not drown in what-if scenarios. Instead, they remind themselves that Allah is Al-Hakim, the most wise, and His plan is always better than our own. Sometimes we become upset because something didn't happen the way we wanted, but later in life we realize that if it had happened, it might have harmed us. This is the beauty of trusting Allah. You are placing your affairs in the hands of the one who knows what you do not know. Tawakkul also protects the heart from excessive dependence on people. When your trust is in Allah, you stop expecting too much from creation. People may disappoint you, situations may change, but Allah never fails. This shifts your mindset completely. Instead of feeling broken when people let you down, you remain strong because your reliance was never on them to begin with. Your heart stays connected to the one who is constant, reliable, and fully aware of your struggles. It is important to understand that tawakkul does not mean sitting back and doing nothing. Islam teaches balance. You tie your camel and then you trust Allah. You work hard, you take the necessary steps, and then you leave the results to Him. This balance removes both laziness and stress. Without effort, you are neglecting your responsibility, and without trust, you burden your heart unnecessarily. Tawakkul combines both action and peace. When difficulties come into your life, tawakkul becomes even more important. Instead of questioning why something is happening, a believer asks how they should respond in a way that pleases Allah. You begin to see tests as opportunities to grow closer to Him rather than reasons to become negative. This mindset changes everything. Hardship no longer feels like punishment, but rather a process of purification, elevation, and strengthening of faith. A person who truly trusts Allah also has hope, no matter how dark the situation may seem. They believe that Allah can change any condition in an instant. This hope keeps them moving forward, even when everything around them feels uncertain. It prevents despair and builds resilience. No matter how many times they fall, they rise again because they know their Lord is always there to support them. In the end, tawakkul gives you something incredibly valuable, a calm and content heart. While others may be overwhelmed by stress and negativity, the one who trusts Allah carries a quiet strength within. They know that whatever is written for them will reach them, and whatever has missed them was never meant for them. And with that belief, they walk through life with positivity, confidence, and a deep sense of peace. Gratitude, or shukr, is one of the most transformative qualities a believer can develop, and it has a direct impact on building a positive attitude in Islam. When a person learns to be grateful, they begin to see life through a completely different lens. Instead of constantly focusing on what is missing, they start appreciating what is already present. This shift alone can change a person from being constantly dissatisfied to someone who feels content and at peace. In reality, human beings have a natural tendency to notice what they lack. We compare our lives to others, we look at what people have achieved, what they own, how they live, and we begin to feel that we are falling behind. This comparison slowly poisons the heart and replaces gratitude with dissatisfaction. But Islam teaches us to reverse this way of thinking. Rather than looking at those who have more, we are encouraged to look at those who have less. This doesn't mean ignoring ambition or progress, but it reminds us to remain grounded and thankful for what Allah has already blessed us with. When a person practices gratitude consistently, they begin to realize that blessings are not only material. In fact, some of the greatest blessings are the ones we often overlook. The ability to breathe without difficulty, the gift of health, the presence of Iman, the opportunity to make dua, the peace that comes from remembering Allah. These are treasures that cannot be measured. Yet because they are constant in our lives, we forget their value. Gratitude brings awareness back into our hearts and helps us recognize that we are surrounded by countless favors of Allah every single day. Shukr is not just something we say with our tongues. It is something that should be reflected in our hearts and actions. Saying Alhamdulillah is powerful, but true gratitude goes beyond words. It is shown in how we live our lives. When you are grateful for your health, you use it in a way that pleases Allah. When you are grateful for your wealth, you share it with others. When you are grateful for your time, you spend it wisely. In this way, gratitude becomes a lifestyle, not just a statement. One of the most beautiful aspects of gratitude in Islam is that it leads to an increase. Allah promises that when you are grateful, He will give you more. This increase is not limited to wealth or material success. It can come in the form of barakah, peace of mind, stronger relationships, and a deeper connection with Allah. Sometimes two people may have the same amount of resources, but the one who is grateful feels richer because their heart is full, while the one who is ungrateful always feels like something is missing. Gratitude also acts as a shield against negativity. When something goes wrong in life, a grateful person does not ignore the difficulty, but they are able to balance it with the blessings they still have. Instead of saying everything is going wrong, they recognize that even within the hardship, there is still goodness present. This mindset prevents despair and keeps the heart steady even during challenging times. Another powerful effect of gratitude is that it strengthens your relationship with Allah. When you acknowledge His blessings, you are constantly reminded of His mercy, His generosity, and His care for you. This builds love in your heart for your Creator. You begin to feel that Allah is always looking after you, always providing for you, always guiding you. This feeling brings comfort and removes the sense of loneliness or abandonment that negativity often creates. Gratitude also improves how you interact with others. A grateful person is less likely to complain, criticize, or spread negativity. They become a source of positivity in their environment. Their presence uplifts others because they focus on Arabic alif, Arabic lam, Arabic chet, Arabic yet, Arabic ra, and encourage appreciation rather than dissatisfaction. This not only benefits them personally, but also strengthens their relationships and community. In the end, gratitude is a powerful key to a positive life. It shifts your focus, softens your heart, and brings you closer to Allah. It reminds you that even if life is not perfect, it is still filled with blessings. And when your heart is able to recognize those blessings, you begin to live with a sense of peace, contentment, and quiet happiness that cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. Every hardship a believer faces carries within it a deeper purpose, even if that purpose is not immediately visible. In Islam, difficulties are not seen as meaningless suffering, but as tests that come with hidden Arabic alif, Arabic lam, Arabic lam, Arabic lam, Arabic lam, Arabic lam. This understanding shapes a person's attitude completely. Instead of viewing hardship as something purely negative, a believer begins to see it as part of a larger plan designed by Allah. Arabic sin, Arabic ba, Arabic et, Arabic alif, Arabic noon, Arabica, Arabic alif, Arabic noon, Arabic alif, Arabic lem, Arabic alif, Arabic lem, Arabic alif maksura. A plan that is filled with wisdom, mercy, and precise knowledge. When something goes wrong in life, the natural human reaction is to feel overwhelmed, to question why it is happening, and sometimes even to feel a sense of injustice. But the believer is trained to respond differently. They remind themselves that Allah is Al-Alim, the one who knows everything, and Al-Hakim, the one who is perfectly wise. If He has allowed a difficulty to enter your life, it is not without reason. There is something in it that will benefit you, even if you cannot yet see it. This belief alone helps prevent the heart from falling into despair. Sometimes the hidden good in hardship is a form of protection. There are moments when we strongly desire something and we feel disappointed when it does not come to us. But later, with time and reflection, we realize that if we had received that thing, it might have caused harm in ways we could not have imagined. In this sense, what appears to be a loss is actually a form of mercy. Allah, in His infinite knowledge, withholds certain things not to deprive us, but to protect us. At other times, hardship becomes a means of purification. The challenges we face can erase sins, soften the heart, and bring us back to Allah. When life is easy, it is very easy to become distracted, to forget our purpose, and to rely too much on ourselves. But when difficulty strikes, the Arabic kaf, Arabic lam, Arabic ba turns back to its creator. The hands are raised in dua, the tears begin to fall, and the connection with Allah becomes stronger than before. In this way, hardship becomes a means of drawing closer to Him, something that comfort alone may not achieve. Hardship also builds strength and resilience. A person who has never faced difficulty may struggle to cope when even a small problem arises. But someone who has gone through trials develops patience, wisdom, and emotional strength. They learn how to navigate life with a deeper understanding. They become more compassionate toward others because they know what it feels like to struggle. This growth is part of the hidden good that hardship brings. Another important aspect is that hardship can be a means of elevation. In Islam, trials are often a way for a person's rank to be raised in the sight of Allah. What may seem like a burden in this life can actually be a source of great reward in the hereafter. When a believer remains patient and continues to trust Allah during difficult times, they are earning something far greater than immediate relief. They are investing in an eternal reward that will far outweigh the temporary pain they experienced. It is also important to understand that the hidden good in hardship is not always something we will recognize in this life. Sometimes the wisdom behind a test may only become clear in the hereafter. This requires a deeper level of faith, where a person trusts Allah not only in what they can understand, but also in what they cannot. This level of trust brings a unique kind of peace, because the believer no longer feels the need to have all the answers. When a person truly believes that every hardship carries hidden good, their perspective changes completely. They no longer react with negativity or hopelessness. Instead, they face challenges with patience, reflection, and trust. They begin to ask themselves not just why something is happening, but what they can learn from it and how they can grow through it. In the end, hardships are not the end of the road, they are part of the journey. They shape us, refine us, and guide us toward a stronger connection with Allah. And when the believer holds on to the certainty that there is good in every test, even if it is hidden, they are able to move forward with a heart that remains hopeful, steady, and full of faith. Your words and your thoughts are far more powerful than you may realize. In Islam, what you say and what you allow to settle in your mind directly shapes your attitude, your emotions, and even your actions. A person who constantly speaks negatively would begin to feel that negativity within, and over time it becomes part of their personality. On the other hand, a person who trains their tongue and mind to focus on goodness, hope, and positivity begins to experience a different kind of life, one filled with calmness, strength, and clarity. The tongue is a small part of the body, yet it carries immense weight. A single word can uplift someone or break them. It can bring peace or create conflict. That is why Islam places great emphasis on speaking good or remaining silent. When you discipline your speech, you are actually disciplining your heart. If your words are filled with complaints, anger, and constant dissatisfaction, it reflects what is inside. But when your words are filled with remembrance of Allah, kindness, and hope, your heart begins to align with that positivity. Think about how often people fall into the habit of negative speech without even realizing it. Phrases like "nothing is going right," "my life is a mess," or "I can't handle this" may seem harmless, but repeated over time, they shape your mindset. You begin to believe these words, and they influence how you respond to situations. Islam teaches us to replace such speech with words that bring light. Saying Alhamdulillah even in difficulty, saying Insha'Allah things will improve, or making dua instead of complaining. These are not just phrases. They are tools that reshape your inner world. Your thoughts are just as important as your words. What you think repeatedly becomes what you believe, and what you believe influences how you live. If your mind is constantly filled with doubt, fear, and hopelessness, it becomes difficult to move forward in life. But when you train your mind to expect Arabic Alif, Arabic Lam, Arabic Lam, Arabic Lam, Arabic La from Allah, to think positively about His plans, and to believe that ease will come after hardship, your entire outlook changes. You begin to face life with confidence rather than fear. In Islam, having a good opinion of Allah is an act of faith. When you think positively about what Allah has planned for you, you are strengthening your relationship with Him. You are acknowledging that He is merciful, just, and generous. This kind of thinking brings comfort to the heart because you are no longer trapped in negative assumptions. Instead, you are anchored in trust and hope. Another important aspect is how your words affect those around you. A person who speaks positively becomes a source of encouragement for others. Their presence brings ease, not stress. They remind people of hope rather than spreading despair. In contrast, someone who constantly complains and speaks negatively can drain the energy of those around them. Islam encourages us to be a source of goodness, and that begins with controlling what we say. It is also important to recognize that controlling your speech and thoughts requires effort. It does not happen overnight. You have to be conscious of your words, especially in moments of anger, stress, or disappointment. When something goes wrong, pause before you speak. Choose words that reflect patience and trust rather than frustration. Over time, this practice becomes natural, and you will notice a significant change in your attitude. Remember also the power of dhikr. When your tongue is busy remembering Allah, it leaves less room for negative speech. Saying phrases of remembrance fills your heart with Arabic Noon, Arabic Wa, Arabic Ra, and brings tranquility. It acts as a constant reminder that Allah is near, aware, and in control of your situation. This naturally reduces negative thinking and replaces it with peace. In the end, your words and your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant will eventually grow. If you plant negativity, you will harvest stress and dissatisfaction. But if you plant positivity, remembrance, and hope, you will harvest peace, strength, and contentment. Islam teaches us to be mindful of both what we say and what we think, because through them we shape not only our mindset but also the direction of our lives. Patience, or Sabr, is one of the most essential qualities that supports a positive attitude in Islam. It is often misunderstood as simply waiting quietly, but in reality, Sabr is much deeper than that. It is the ability to remain firm, composed, and hopeful even when life becomes difficult. It is about controlling your reactions, holding on to your Arabic Alif, Arabic Farsi, Ya, Arabic Meme, Arabic Alif, Arabic Noon, and continuing to do what is right despite the challenges you face. Every person goes through moments of hardship times when things don't go according to plan, when doors close, or when life feels overwhelming. In those moments, it is easy to fall into frustration, anger, or even despair. But Sabr teaches you to respond differently. It teaches you to pause, to reflect, and to remember that Allah is fully aware of your situation. Nothing you are going through is unseen or unnoticed. This awareness alone can calm the heart and prevent it from becoming consumed by negativity. Sabr is not about denying pain or pretending everything is fine. Islam does not ask you to suppress your emotions. You are allowed to feel sadness, to feel hurt, and even to cry. But what Sabr does is guide how you deal with those emotions. Instead of allowing them to lead you toward negative actions or words, patience helps you channel them in a way that brings you closer to Allah. You may cry, but you turn to Him in dua. You may feel weak, but you seek strength through prayer. This balance is what makes Sabr so powerful. A patient person understands that life is not meant to be perfect. This dunya is a place of tests, and each test is an opportunity to prove your faith. When you accept this reality, your mindset begins to change. You stop expecting constant ease, and you start preparing yourself to handle difficulties with strength and dignity. This preparation itself builds a positive attitude, because you are no longer shocked or broken by challenges. You are ready to face them with Arabic alif, Arabic Farsi, Ya, Arabic Meme, Arabic alif, Arabic Noon. One of the most beautiful aspects of sabr is that it is always rewarded. Even if the situation does not change immediately, your patience is never wasted. Every moment you hold back from complaining, every time you choose to trust Allah instead of giving up, every effort you make to stay strong, these are all seen and valued by Allah. This knowledge gives you motivation to remain patient, because you know that something greater is being written for you, even if you cannot see it right now. Sabr also protects your heart from making decisions you may regret. When emotions run high, people often say or do things that they later wish they could take back. But patience gives you control. It allows you to think before you act, to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with impulse. This not only helps you avoid unnecessary problems, but it also strengthens your character over time. Another important dimension of sabr is consistency in doing good. Patience is not only needed in times of hardship, but also in maintaining acts of worship and staying on the right path. It takes patience to wake up for prayer when you feel tired, to avoid what is wrong when it is tempting, and to continue doing good even when you do not see immediate results. This form of sabr builds discipline and strengthens your connection with Allah. When you practice sabr, you begin to develop a quiet strength within yourself. You may still face difficulties, but they no longer shake you in the same way. You become more stable, more grounded, and more resilient. Your heart learns to remain calm even in uncertain situations, because it trusts that Allah will bring ease at the right time. Patience also brings a sense of hope. A person who is patient does not believe that their current situation will last forever. They hold on to the certainty that after hardship comes ease. This hope keeps them moving forward even when the path seems long. It prevents them from falling into despair and helps them maintain a positive outlook on life. In the end, sabr is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It is the strength to hold yourself together when everything around you feels like it is falling apart. It is the strength to trust Allah when you do not understand what is happening. And it is the strength to keep going, knowing that your patience is leading you towards something better. Optimism in Islam is not just a personality trait or a way of thinking. It is an act of Arabic teen, Arabic ba, Arabic tal, Arabic ta, when it is rooted in faith and trust in Allah. Arabic sin, Arabic ba, Arabic teen, 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 Arabic alif, Arabic teen, Arabic teen, Arabic teen, Arabic teen, from Arabic alif maksura. To expect good from Allah, to believe that He will open doors, Arabic lim, Arabic lim, Arabic lim, Arabic lim, Arabic la, into your life, is a reflection of your relationship with Him. It shows that you recognize His mercy, His power, and His generosity. This kind of optimism is not blind positivity. It is a conscious choice to see beyond the present moment and place your hope in the One who controls all outcomes. A believer is taught to always maintain a good opinion of Allah. This means that no matter what situation you are in, you do not assume the worst about your Lord. Even when things seem difficult, even when life feels uncertain, you remind yourself that Allah would never decree something for you except that there is wisdom and benefit behind it. This mindset protects your heart from falling into despair. It keeps your connection with Allah strong because you continue to turn to Him with hope rather than turning away in frustration. When optimism becomes part of your faith, it begins to influence how you approach every aspect of life. You wake up with hope, you make dua with conviction, and you face challenges with confidence. You do not see obstacles as dead ends, but as temporary barriers that can be removed by the will of Allah. This belief gives you strength to keep trying, to keep improving, and to keep moving forward, even when results are not immediate. Optimism also changes how you view your past. Instead of being stuck in regret or disappointment, you begin to see your experiences as part of a journey that is shaping you for something better. You trust that whatever has happened was not a mistake, but part of a plan designed specifically for you. This does not mean you ignore your mistakes, but it means you learn from them without allowing them to define you. You move forward with hope, knowing that Allah's mercy is always greater than your shortcomings. Another powerful aspect of optimism in Islam is how it affects your dua. When you raise your hands and ask Allah for something, you do so with full belief that He is Arabic Kaf, Arabic Alif, Arabic Dal, Arabic Rat to give it to you. You do not make dua with doubt or hesitation. Instead, you ask with certainty, knowing that Allah hears you and responds in the best way. This kind of hopeful Arabic Alif, Arabic Lam, Arabic Dal, Arabic Dal, Arabic Dal, Arabic Dal, Arabic Alif, Arabic Hamza is itself an act of worship because it reflects your trust in Allah's ability to change your situation. Optimism also helps you deal with uncertainty. Life is full of unknowns, and this can often lead to anxiety and fear. But when your heart is filled with hope in Allah, those unknowns no longer feel threatening. You begin to see them as opportunities for Allah's mercy to unfold in ways you did not expect. You become more comfortable with not having all the answers because you trust the one who does. It is important to understand that optimism does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. Islam encourages balance. You acknowledge your challenges, you take practical steps to address them, but you do not lose hope. You do not allow negativity to dominate your thinking. Instead, you combine effort with trust, action with hope, and realism with faith. This balance creates a strong and stable mindset. A person who lives with this kind of optimism becomes a source of light for others. Their words inspire hope, their attitude brings comfort, and their presence reminds people of Allah's mercy. They do not spread fear or negativity, but instead encourage others to trust Allah and remain hopeful. In this way, their optimism not only benefits them personally, but also uplifts those around them. In the end, optimism in Islam is a reflection of how well you know your Lord. The more you understand His names and attributes, the easier it becomes to trust Him and expect good from Him. And when you truly believe that Allah is always Arabic Kaf, Arabic Alif, Arabic Dal, Arabic Ra, always Arabic Ra, Arabic Het, Arabic Het, Arabic Mim, and always aware of your situation, your heart naturally fills with hope. This hope becomes a form of worship because it keeps you connected to Allah in every moment, regardless of what you are going through. In conclusion, my dear brothers and sisters, a positive attitude in Islam is not something superficial or temporary. It is deeply rooted in our connection with Allah. Arabic Sin, Arabic Ba, Arabic Het, 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 Arabic Hatif, Arabic Hatif Maksura. It is built upon trust in Him, strengthened through gratitude, shaped by our understanding of hardship, reflected in our words and thoughts, supported by patience, and completed with unwavering optimism. When a believer combines these qualities, their entire outlook on life transforms. They no longer see life as a series of random events, but as a meaningful journey guided by the wisdom of Allah. They do not become overwhelmed by difficulties, nor do they become ungrateful in times of ease. Instead, they remain balanced, firm in faith during hardship, and humble in times of comfort. A positive Muslim is not someone who has a perfect life, but someone who responds to every situation with the right mindset. When Arabic Alif, Arabic Lam, Arabic Lam, Arabic Lam, Arabic Lam, Arabic La comes, they are grateful. When hardship comes, they are patient. When uncertainty arises, they trust Allah. And through all of this, they keep their hearts connected to Him. Remember, positivity in Islam is not about ignoring reality. It is about seeing reality through the lens of faith. It is about believing that no matter what happens, Allah is in control. And His plan is always Arabic Chet, Arabic Chet, Arabic Chet, Arabic Chet. This belief gives you strength, peace, and purpose. So carry this attitude in your daily life. Let your words reflect hope, let your heart remain firm, and let your trust in Allah never weaken. Because when your connection with Him is strong, no difficulty can break you and no negativity can take away your peace. May Allah fill our hearts with light, strengthen our faith, and grant us the ability to remain positive in every situation. Ameen.